Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here. Now we here, now we here.
Hello and welcome. I am Lain, a certified life coach, addiction recovery coach, and now hypnotist that can help you reprogram your subconscious mind to become the best version of you. So if you are here today, I know that you do want to become the best version of you. And if you want help on your journey, check out the drop box below in the description box. You can find links to my website, which will lead you to one-on-one coaching services or hypnosis services or bundles of coaching and hypnosis services. All of that is in the drop box below. So make sure that you check that out. Today's video is going to be what I noticed when working on self-concept and how it changes everything in your reality and how it's the game changer for your manifestation journey, especially if you are manifesting a specific person. So, if you don't understand what self-concept is, it's when you are choosing a new identity with new beliefs, thought patterns, feelings/emotions, behaviors, and your perceptions of life itself and the things that you are experiencing. Your identity is made up of all of these constructs of how you see yourself and believe and think about yourself, how you see other people or specific people in your life, or how you see society and have beliefs around society and the way that men are supposed to treat women or women are supposed to be treated or treat others or whatever, right? You have all of these constructs and beliefs and assumptions and perceptions and experiences and memories. All of that makes up your identity or your self-concept. So if you are in an identity that feels unfavorable, it's a self-concept that feels unfavorable. You don't have beliefs in alignment with what you do want. You don't have the thought patterns with what you do want. You're feeling really crappy, depressed, and just in an unfavorable overall state. Your behaviors are ones of lack and chasing and desperate energy. So to get out of that, we need to start to contemplate who we'd be if we already had the desire. And by contemplating who we'd be with new thought patterns and new belief systems and new emotions and new behaviors, that allows you to tune into that new version of you, that new self-concept, and then naturally you'll start to perceive your reality from that new lens, because now you have different beliefs that can filter out more of what you do want in your perception of what you do want. And then you'll start to experience that in your reality because it does exist right now. The things that you are manifesting exist right now. You just can't perceive them because of your belief system, your identity, that self-concept that you have is filtering out only what you don't want instead of what you do want. But it exists right here, right now. Because everything exists. All those realities, all those timelines, everything is existing right now. So what I noticed when working on my self-concept, when I was manifesting multiple specific people in my life, I noticed that they didn't manifest until I actually started to change my self-concept and become a better and better and better version of myself. So the way that I changed the self-concept again was contemplating, well, who would I be if I already had this specific person in my life? And how would I be identifying what would be the behaviors? How would I be walking and talking around this world and to other people or about this person? Or how would I be talking to my friends about this person or about my life now? What beliefs would I need to have? What thought patterns would feel the most natural as this new version of me? How emotional would I be? Would it be sadness or would it be happiness? Would it be loneliness or would it be gratitude and abundance and so on and so forth, right? So I got really clear on these things and just contemplated, played in my imagination. Sometimes it was visuals that would come to me about this new version of me and the things that I was doing or saying or the way that I was acting, the things that I was experiencing in my reality. Sometimes it was natural thoughts and just asking myself, well, if I was already experiencing this with my person, what would I naturally be telling my friends or my family, right? And by doing that, it allowed me to then feel differently. I fell into that state of the knowing. I felt detached from the old reality, the old version of me. I felt detached from the outcome and naturally just started to feel more like I am this version. Emotionally, my emotions changed, ones of desperation and lack into happiness, gratitude, and abundance. And it was a very natural process. I didn't force a new emotion, right? So I allowed these things to come to me just by asking myself and questioning, well, how would I be? What would I be saying? What would be my natural thoughts? How would I be waking up in the morning? How would I be going to sleep? Or what would I be thinking about if I went to sleep and everything worked out? Right? So I was doing these things day after day after day, not making it feel like work, just doing it because it felt good to do it. In the meantime, I was living my life. I was enjoying myself, hanging out with friends and family, going fishing, doing my other hobbies, working on my business, right? Becoming a better version of me, moving forward in my life, not allowing myself to feel stuck anymore or feel like I'm waiting for this specific person before my life can continue. I let my life continue because that was in alignment with me becoming the best version of myself with this person in my life, right? So I noticed, though, that once I hit this place in my self-concept where I'm confident, where I'm secure, where I know I'm chosen and prioritized, and I've been prioritizing myself and fulfilling myself, where I'm no longer needing anything from anybody. I'm the most independent, secure version of me, right? I noticed that I had old stories of different people in my life that I wanted to change. Prior to working on self-concept, again, people were showing up not always prioritizing me, or people were showing up, having unfavorable stories, like still dabbling with drugs and alcohol, which I was out of that lifestyle. I didn't want to be around it. People showing up still very, we'll say fighty, they're very, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but people were fighting around me and not peaceful, not harmonious, not taking care of themselves, not becoming the best version of them. So I remember having different inner conversations about them or with them. I remember, writing out different lists of different things, and I just allowed it to be there, right? I kept experiencing in my reality the unfavorable with these people. They were really close friends of mine, so I was around them all the time, talked to them all the time, and I would catch myself complaining about them, right? But because I was in the new self-concept, I naturally, because again, it was a gradual process, even though I had done these things prior, I wasn't in the self-concept to actually experience harmonious friendships or peaceful friendships or people that took care of themselves or believed in themselves and so on and so forth, right? So I was still experiencing unfavorable versions of these other people in my life when manifesting a specific person, like a romantic interest. So I noticed once working on self-concept, I stopped complaining about these people, right? I became so focused on myself and my happiness that even though I had these old stories about them, I had also created the new stories of them. And because I was so focused on myself, I detached from those old versions of that specific person, of these friends that I had, and like the stories and the old stories I had around them. I detached from all of it because I was just so honed in on my new version of self, knowing that I'm prioritized, that I'm taken care of, that I'm supported, I'm around positive people because I'm a positive person, and so on and so forth, right? That I noticed right before this specific person came in that my friends started to switch up on me in a positive way. Even though I wasn't intentionally telling a new story about them, I had dropped that story of them. I was just focused on myself. I was just contemplating life now that everything's good and continues to get better and better. Then I noticed they stopped abusing drugs and alcohol. They started going to the doctors and taking care of their body or their mental health, right? They started even quitting, tobacco products, because that's something I'm not into as well. They started to think about their future and their careers and their jobs, right? They started to really hone in and focus on their relationships and become better versions of themselves so then they can have happier relationships with less fighting and arguing. Really starting to understand themselves and their partner, right? So all of these things naturally started to happen because I'm focusing on a new version of my person and a new version of me, which would be in alignment with not arguing, being able to communicate in a healthy way, which was focused on living a healthier lifestyle. In the past, me and this person, we'd party together, right? And I didn't want to be that version of me anymore. I didn't want that experience anymore. And I didn't want her to have that experience anymore. So, that felt in alignment with my friend showing up that way as well. as far as career and things like that, of course, I became so focused on my career and saw so much movement. I'll make another video about manifesting $1,000 a day, but that was also, part of their experience where they had money coming in and they were focused on career and finally knew the direction that they wanted to take their life and their career. Again, this is all reflection of the new stories that I had been telling, not only of them, but of myself, right? So they started to reflect back to me like a form of birds before landing, like signs that if they're doing it, they're becoming better versions of themselves. And I'm seeing them differently. And they're coming to me with no longer complaining about their life and actually doing something differently and having a different result, a positive result, right? That's my manifestation starting to unfold through the path of least resistance. So I knew that my person was right around the corner to manifest because these other things were in alignment. Not partying, not drinking, not doing drugs. Focused on career and money and in the relationship and stability and happiness and balance. Understanding one another. Right? So I started to see the birds before landing with my friends, even though I wasn't consciously making an effort to change them anymore. I was just making the effort to change myself. And guess what happens? Well, then the specific person manifests, right? So that's why I say all of this based off of my experience. And I've experienced this with my clients have experienced this as well. And they've told me about these stories where they're noticing other people getting their manifestations or other people showing up in the way that they want their specific person to, or the relationship dynamics between friends and family shifting up and becoming more in alignment with what they wanted in a relationship. Again, it all comes down to your perceptions. If you're identifying as a new version of you with the new beliefs and, have positive thought patterns about relationships and, men or women in your life and so on and so forth, guess what? Everyone in your reality, not just the specific person, has to reflect that back to you. So that's why my friends started to naturally change because I was telling that story. My perceptions of them began to naturally change because I was telling a new story. My belief system started to filter out more of what I did want instead of what I don't want. Of course, I don't want friends that are complaining and fighting all the time in their relationships and coming to me with the problems. Of course, I don't want friends that are doing drugs and drinking because that's a low vibrational kind of energy. And I don't want to be around that anymore. I want people that are productive and motivated and inspire me to become a better version of me, and inspire me to make more money and learn from and grow from, right? Those are the kind of friendships I wanted. And then they started to turn into that because my perception started to change. I started to feel more deserving of those kinds of friendships, more deserving of that kind of life, more deserving of this new person, romantic partner that I wanted. I was allowing everything to just unfold, right? So you'll notice on your own journey that your perceptions of others will begin to change and others will begin to show up differently once you are actually shifting that self-concept. If it's exes coming back and showing up differently, if it's friends and family coming in and showing up differently, if it's strangers on the street or coworkers showing up differently, you will start to perceive your reality more through the lens of love and harmony and of the relationship being fulfilling and happy and having exactly what you want. It's just coming in through the path of least resistance. Your reality is starting to shift and shape and mold to what you do want. So if you are experiencing this, just know that your specific person is next because that's what I experienced. Okay? It's a good thing. It's a good sign, right? And you don't have to go looking for these things. These things will just happen and you'll be able to reflect because I didn't notice it at first. But then something happened and I'm like, no shit, I had a lot of resistance about this person showing up this way. And now I'm seeing completely different evidence in my reality from them. And then because I was seeing things differently, I realized, oh shit, it's my self-concept. It's exactly in alignment with what I do want in these friendships. It's exactly in alignment with what I do want with this specific person. So not only did I manifest this specific person, but I manifested better relationships with my friends and my family where people were showing up differently just because I shifted within, just because I started to contemplate and tell a new story and have that self-talk around the version of me that is the most confident, happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, sexiest version of me. The version of me that is in a loyal, loving, committed relationship. The version of me that only experiences loyal, loving friends, positive, motivating friends. Right? So it just naturally happened. So just know your manifestation is next. If you do want help with this, again, please check out the links in my bio or down in the Dropbox below. That way we can work together. The thing that really changed the game for me was coaching myself, of course, but also hypnosis. That, man, let me tell you, fast-tracked everything. It really cemented my beliefs in. And I'm not just saying this because now I'm a hypnotist and da-da-da-da. No, I genuinely 100% hypnosis is what changed the game for me. Hypnosis is what helped me manifest $1,000 days. Hypnosis is what helped me manifest the best version of me, the happiest version of me, the healthiest version of me. Hypnosis helped me manifest hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was a goal for a long time that I was super resistant to, but now finally doing it. So I'm just saying, guys, hypnosis has changed my life, and I want it to change yours as well. So invest in yourself if that's something that you can do or want to do. Okay? So if you could do me that favor, if this video did resonate and help you in any single way, hit that thumbs up button along with hitting the subscribe button with the bell icon. That way you're notified every time that I post a new video. As always, guys, you got this, and thank you for being here.